brother's 60th birthday.
I won't be.
Your
My brother.
Oh, your brother.
My son lives there too. But
Yeah,
my brother
yeah.
turning 60.
Yeah.
He's having over 100 people. It's a very fancy party. He's hired Sister Hazel to
Wow.
You know that band?
Yeah, I remember the name. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is I see you.
What will you be singing?
Well,
Moody Blues.
Moody Blues, but I already did that. I already did
Jan
that.
Romero's Hippie Hippie Shake. Because Jan Romero passed away.
Oh, no kidding.
One of the Limelighters passed. One of the founders of the Limelighters passed away.
What did they sing?
They were a folk group. I mean, I don't know if they had any hits.
Oh, they should. I feel like
they probably
if I have a version of Where Are All the Flowers Gone.
They probably got plenty of things you could sing. Yeah.
But I do have a Moody Blues one.
Yeah.
I do have a Moody Blues one.
Surprisingly empty parking.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned, although, you know, people do come right in. Last year we had like 30 people.
That was so strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's more common than not, but there was that week.
Well, it was just strange that it was like quarter after and there were like 6 people.
Yeah,
here.
exactly. That's
All
what
of a
was
sudden
strange.
people
Yeah,
came in.
that was
Then
very
more people
strange.
came in. Then more people.
Then it
came
felt
in.
like the whole place was.
It
That
just
was,
felt
yeah,
like-
that's true. That was, went from not sure we're gonna have a million to
Yeah.
30 or more people.
Boston. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if she's gonna have time while she's here, but Jared always told you about the basketball.
Yeah.
I got connected to
Say again?
Jelly Black.
I was an honest one. Mine every other
And
week.
when you come out,
So
the
you
workshop,
hear
and I'll
it.
show you the rest of the stuff. Mary Joseph
Monday,
Haddad.
Friday.
That's like that. She's Christian. She speaks on that all the time.
Yeah, they just picked
So this woman, Shira, is on her show. She's Israeli. And she's
No, and they recycle
she's
shows
from
from
town. And she
different times.
reached out to me, so I might host her for Shabbat.
Oh, cool.
If maybe we can have a conversation. I gotta get her
I mean,
topics.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm not here next weekend, but
Okay. Oh,
it doesn't matter. We still have her. She could come and say something on front. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't,
okay.
Let me know.
Okay.
I will help.
It'd be nice if you were here, though.
I know. Absolutely. My brother's party.
Oh, sweet.
I went my brother's granddaughter had her school had her-
Hello, Robert. Rabbi? You're a Saturday morning guy.
I am. I just
Go home from work.
Great to have you.
yeah.
No, Mark is.
We're up to 6.
I mean, for over
And we can't delay with coverage.
Turn the page, Rabbi, turn the page.
Yeah. And the kids in kindergarten came up to talk about their New Year's resolutions.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Learn to ski. No, she's in third. And she comes from. Her mom runs events for these boys.
My son.
She doesn't play that.
What kind of graduate? Well, that's where you chose to go.
Well, he started out at UCLA. Now he's got his first ever graduate assistant.
It's not the place I would have felt, I guess. And also when this school.
Once every 2 or 3 years.
Once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Years.
Years.
We had one, we did have one 3 weeks ago when I was out of town. It's it's not uncommon at 6:15, by 6:25. Like last week we had 6 people at 6:15 and we had 30 people. So, you know, one doesn't, and we are at one now if I need to go to any. But, 1 second, let me just
Anyway, this is my son's sweatshirt that I have yet to fix. You know? Any more exciting news?
So I thought it was gonna be
1 week.
Oh, yeah.
really long drive.
Sad week.
Oh,
Well, there you
Making
go.
their way.
Got your menu.
I'm trying to decide whether we can have a laptop.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We tonight, because on Chol HaMoed you do not do most of Kabbalat Shabbat, so we start on page 19, Psalm 92, Psalm for Shabbat, and it's good because we have lots to do tonight. Because in case you've been paying attention, I'm surprised not a huge turnout came for the conclusion of the women and their role at TBA and the whole bat mitzvah scene, right? You know, which goes along with the letter that was written by Rabbi Warnick to Dr. Sheldon Barrow, which I read last week, which was, if you want this change, you better come to services.
There was a big accident on the freeway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It potentially slowed down a lot of people.
Could get a few people late.
Yeah.
Mostly I'm kidding, but really it's okay. It's all right, page 19.
Page 19.
19. No Kabbalat Shabbat on Chol HaMoed. That's the rule, really.
No Kabbalat Shabbat what?
On Chol HaMoed.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's just it just is. I think they think you're too busy, all shuled out.
The 19 is Kabbalat Shabbat.
19, just abbreviated, just the very end of it.
That's right.
Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov leodot le'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, le'hagid b'boker hasecha, ve'emunatcha b'leilot. Tzadikatamar yifrach ka'eres balmanon yizkeh shetulim b'beit Adonai b'chatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu Yenuvun b'seah D'shenim v'rahananim Yehu lehagid Ki ashar Adonai tzuri v'lo Lavish Adonai Asita Zar Aftikon Tevel Ba'otimo Nachon Kisachad Me'az Ma'amata Nasu Zero Adonai Nasu Zero Kolam Yisu Zero Tokyam Mikol Ma'im Ma'im Rabim Adirim Mishperei Adir Bamaron Adonai Eirotecha Ne'emenu Me'od Ve'techa Dama Kodesh Adonai Me'orem Yamim. Please rise for the Baruch Hu, page 42. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai asher bivaro, mari varavim u'midisirim. V'yom v'layla, v'mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, v'vim mipnei layla, v'afil ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, v'amid imoch v'alein le'olam v'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, amari varim. Avat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shofeinu u'v'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla. Ve'varcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta ba'am, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, u'lepecha ha'derech, u'v'shofrecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, ve'hayu letotafo b'neinecha, u'tachtam al mizot beitecha, u'visharecha. We continue on our own. I think it's 27 through 29. L'man tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim Elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, emet, Adonai Elohechem, emet. Top of page 32. Malchut Ratzon Kudolehem, Sheven Esra, Panishrabasim Tarava, Vemru Chulam, Mi Chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha, Nedar Ba'kodesh, Nora Tehilot, Osei Velet, Malchutecha, Raguvanecha, Okay, hayam lifnei Moshe, Zeli, Anu Baruch Yifranai Yaakov, Luma Chazak Mimenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Ashkimenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom. Top of 34. Uvos aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shomecha, Uvos aleinu Sukkot, Israel, Go Yerushalayim, please rise. Shamru b'nei Yisrael, et Hashem, Asok et Hashem, Ledot Amerit Olam. B'nei Yisrael, Oti Leolam, Oti Leolam, Oti Leolam. Sheshet Yamim Asar Adonai, Asar Adonai, Et HaShamayim, Et HaAretz, Shamru b'nei Yisrael, Et HaShamayim, Asar Et HaShamayim, Ledot Amerit Olam, Uvayom HaShvi. Shavan Vayirafash, Shavan Vayirafash, Shavan Vayirafash. Shamru b'nei Yisrael, et Hashem, Asok et Hashem, Ledot Amerit Olam. Remain standing for Chatzi Kaddish, page 35. Yikra v'yikra Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yamani vrach Yerutei ve'amlich malchutei.
B'chayechom yomechom
U'chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, u'bizman kariv imeru.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach. Le'olam le'omei omaya yiparach. Yiparach v'ishtabach v'bargam ram v'naseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei kedusha. Le'lam yikol berchata v'shirata. Yusefachta v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imheru. Amen. Private Amidah, pages 37 through 48. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael le'oleinu lechol sha'ah v'shlomecha. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam. Go right to Kaddish Shalem now on page 53. Geravi Kras Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Brachir Tevim Lichmach Tevachayach. Onachir Macham Bechayach Beit Yisrael. Magalav Isman Karivi Meru.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach.
Le'olam lo me'omaya yivorach.
Barach Yishtabach V'Bar V'Ram V'Naseh V'Tadar V'Talev V'Talosh Shmei Kudsha.
Re'elam.
Le'elam Mikor Chatav Shiratak. Chatav Nechamat Adam Miram Yom Avim Meru.
Amen.
Shalom Soton Voton L'Chol Yisrael Kodam Avon Divi Shmaya V'Meru.
Amen.
Yishlom Rav Min Shemaya V'Chaim Elim V'Kol Yisrael V'Meru.
Amen.
Yaseh Shalom B'Mroma V'Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'Meru.
Amen.
All right, before we do the historical moment, we have a very wonderful present moment. We're going to call upon Jonathan to come on up. Come on up, John, yeah. And he, several months ago, went to the mikveh after a couple of years. Were you even in the pandemic class or no?
So partially,
Okay.
and then I wanted to have the in-person experience, so I came in person.
All right, so he started there, but anyway, never got his Hebrew name, even though mikvah. So that's going to happen right now. Please rise.
Rabbi, can we get a colleague here?
Oh yes, yes. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, I have
Yeah.
one.
Oh, you brought yours?
Yes, I just arrived.
Torah's in here. I got a super heavy one for you. Sorry. By that.
He wants you to feel the weight.
Yeah, you're definitely going to feel the weight of the Jewish tradition on your shoulders, in your arms. All right, so you stand at this moment receiving the Torah just as people have done throughout Jewish history, including Ruth. You've done it after your course of study. You're a serious student in a lot of ways through Cal State, but also here at Temple Beth Abraham. It's really been enjoyable having you. Your wonderful theological questions that come up every so often have been a real treasure for me. You're now going to repeat the words of Ruth right after me in English. Wherever you go, I will go.
Wherever you go, I will go.
Wherever you lodge, I will lodge.
Wherever you lodge, I will lodge.
Your people will be my people,
Your people will be my people,
and your God, my God.
and your God, my God.
And you're going to say with me the Shema now. Actually, no, you're going to wait for it. I'm going to give you your name, then you're going to say the Shema. All right, so. In respect to your admission to the covenant of Israel, we welcome you by giving you the following name with this Misha Barak prayer. Yishaber Chavateinu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarav Karachav Leah V'Yivarech et Achinu Yonatan Michael and Avraham Avinu v'Sara Ameinu b'vor lachasot tachas kanfei Shechina v'stapek v'nachalat Yisrael v'imonato al geri hatzedek b'toch am Elohei Avraham v'Sara yiratzon sheyatzliach b'darko v'yirei bracha b'chol masei yadav v'nomar
Amen.
May the one who blessed your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, given the Hebrew name now, Yonatan Michael, who has cast his lot with the people of Israel. May he prosper in all his worthy endeavors. May the work of his hands be blessed. And let us say,
Amen.
now while holding the Torah, we're going to say the Shema together. Shema,
Shema
Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
I'm going to do the priestly blessing, but I won't make you do that holding the Torah because you have to bend down to my height and while holding the Torah. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May
God bless you and keep you. Your Adonai panav elecha v'yikunecha. May God's face shine upon you, be gracious unto you. Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant you peace.
Amen.
Sing Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Sing Tov, Sing Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Sing Tov, Sing Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Sing Tov. Absolutely. It was a long wait between mikvah and naming. We got it. So now we are going to go over what I have eventually pieced together between the minutes and the letters between 1953 and 1983 of the role of women, mostly as it concerns to reading Torah at Beth Abraham. It's still unclear in many cases, but here's what we have. In 1953, Rabbi Harold Schulweis gives a letter from Jewish Theological Seminary's Max Art that lists the synagogues that do and don't have mixed choirs. Okay, so we have women's voices. And he writes, my personal opinion is the objection to a woman's voice is based upon the Oriental idea that a woman's voice is an abomination and is an insult to Jewish womanhood, and there is no reason for assuming a man's voice is more acceptable to God than a woman's voice. So we have that.
Harold.
Then in 1954, Selig Weinstein formally requests that his daughter be granted an aliyah on a Saturday morning. This was deferred to the annual meeting so all members could weigh in. Rabbi Schulweis started in 53, by the way, and this is now 1954. Now, well, I'll comment in just a second. In May 1954, there's an article in the Oakland Tribune, which you can look up, which says, the first bat mitzvah of the temple year, Janice Glesser, which tells us that she was not the first bat mitzvah, or the story would have been first bat mitzvah. Now, we don't know, probably even before 1953, they were doing some sort of bat mitzvah, but we don't know. We have no record of it. We don't have anyone who has told me what happened before 1953. There's no article that you can look up, but we have to assume that 1954 wasn't the first one. Might have happened in 1953, and it definitely wasn't on Saturday morning yet, but unfortunately, we just don't know. In 1957, there was a motion at a special congregational meeting by I'm not sure who by, but although I'll tell you who spoke on it in just a moment. But that women have bat mitzvahs on Saturdays and not on Friday nights, as appears has been happening, because we know in 1954 the Weinstein bat mitzvah was on a Friday night, and it failed 46 to 63. Dr. Arthur Roth Morris Cohen and Sam Clark spoke pro. Sam Katzberg and Saul Quitman opposed. Now, also in 1957, it's no wonder that Dr. Arthur Roth spoke, because his daughter, Jo Roth, now Jo Budman, had her bat mitzvah in 1957. And she sent me a photo of her rehearsal down at the bottom, and the signboard, which mentions, and the bulletin, both of which mention that her bat mitzvah is at the late Friday evening services, 8 p.m. in the social hall, bat mitzvah.
In 1954?
1957.
57.
And so we know that. In her mind, she doesn't exactly remember, but she says that, she's pretty sure she had it separately in the social hall opposite the Saturday morning service, but I don't think that that's actually true. Okay, I think it was probably done in the social hall on Friday night, and they wouldn't allow it in the sanctuary yet, because they definitely did it on Friday night. I mean, it's on the signboard, and that was what also happened in the article 3 years earlier. All right. In 1960, there was a new request for a Saturday morning bat mitzvah by the Jonas family. It was a very powerful family in our congregation, but it was tabled. And then the ritual committee voted on it and defeated it. And they said they can present it to the board or petition to the congregation. In 1961, in the minutes, there was planning for a congregational meeting for the role of women in general. In 1965, at the annual meeting, there was a question to be discussed: should women be counted for a minyan? But it was then struck from the agenda. Too controversial. Remember, Schulweis is arguing it for 1953. We have bat mitzvahs, even though they're private, essentially, in the synagogue, at least before 1954. It could have been years, but we still can't get the regular thing. In 1972, Mary Berkowitz requests an aliyah at her son's bar mitzvah, and the board votes to discuss it at a special congregational meeting. They sneak in an all-female aliyah on Simchat Torah, probably at night, though, and Sidney Greenstein resigns.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Then two separate proposals are passed, aliyot for women and bat mitzvahs on Saturday, also in 1972, overwhelmingly 266 to 77. The pro speakers were Dr. Selig Weinstein, Bella Barani, Jean Brott, and Ida Jonas. Against, Joe Dorfman, Ben Silver, Herman Hertz, Daisy Tallarico. And the rabbi promises to implement them appropriately. But between 1972 and 1975, we don't know what happened. Even though they voted on it, apparently they did not happen in those 3 years.
Was gone.
Schulweis was gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so Schulweis left in 1970. So in 1972, the rabbi is rookie Leonard Cahan, and he has to follow Schulweis, and everybody's leaving Oakland and they're blaming everything on the new rabbi. But the demographics are terrible. But so he gets this motion passed, but I don't know that it ever happened, because then he promises to implement them appropriately, but we don't know what that means. And he leaves in 1972, and Rabbi Gene Mornick comes, and he's more conservative, not necessarily in the sense that he doesn't want progressive things, but he's much more cautious conservative about the process. So it appears that maybe there may have been a bat mitzvah, maybe even the first adult bat mitzvah. Toba Bernstein, who claimed that mantle, might have been between 1972 and 1975, but it was taken away until 1975, when the letter that I read 2 weeks ago, a letter to Sam Katzberg from the Rabbi Gene Mornick, said they voted again and women will be reading Torah at the high holidays. And he died 6 months later. Not saying it killed him, but as I said that. Now, but the first bat mitzvah, as far as I know, for a kid was Shelley Berman, and that took place in 1976. So the annual meeting presumably would be in May, although I don't know that for a fact. It is now. And in 1976, Shelley had the bat mitzvah. And this comes from Shelley's mom, who told me, I'll just read you parts of the email. Shelley says that Friday evening bat mitzvah girls read 3 Torah portions and their Haftorahs. Marcy said she just read her Haftorah and the Maftir. I'm not clear if that would be in addition to or including the Haftorah. I have no way of determining which is true. Shelley says that she was not consulted as to whether she wanted a Saturday morning bat mitzvah, but she was fine with it. She felt capable of doing the whole Megillah, as it were, as indeed she did, and flawlessly. She doesn't remember which other parts of the service she read. Then she says, doesn't have anything to do with this, but it's interesting, especially for Susan. All my kids had some day school education, and she was a very capable student. But the day school scene was very chaotic during those years. My kids went to several different iterations of day school because day schools were in their infancy at the time, and there was a cycle of establishment of a day school, a few years of operation, and then it would fall apart to be replaced by another version of the school under new management. So apparently that's what was going on in the 70s and early 80s here.
I wonder what those schools were called.
Yeah.
What their names were.
Great question. I know one of them met here, for sure, at
And that
least.
was earlier.
Earlier than the early 70s?
I think so, yeah, because I'm 67. My cousins who went here are in their 70s. And they went to elementary school here, day school, for a few years, till it fell apart.
So I guess it was, so you may be describing looking backwards, there were a whole bunch of these. But then he says, it's a miracle anything stuck in their heads. Mark, her son told her that he had to go into the closet at school to do his schoolwork because the classroom was too rowdy
What was that
for
son's
any
name?
learning to take place.
What was the son's name? You know?
Mark
Oh, yeah.
Berman. You may
I'll
know.
tell you later.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Beth?
I was gonna say, is Rabbi Schulweiss's wife still alive? Maybe she would know.
She is not.
She's not. So I knew Seth, but
His son's alive, but I'm sure they don't know the details.
yeah,
of this.
I was just wondering. if
And they were
still alive.
little when they left. You know, and even some of our elderly congregants just don't know. I should have tried more systematically with Sid Schaefer, whose memory was probably the best for these things, but I asked him some questions about some things, but hadn't done this project yet. Too bad. Regrets. And then finally, 1983. Okay, so the bat mitzvah's over now. We don't. That's all we know. It's an incomplete picture. That's the job of a historian. You try to put the puzzles together, but you don't always quite get there. You just get little bits. But in 1983, the Sisterhood, as it was called then, is trying to figure out a way to involve the working women who are unable to attend the Sisterhood lunches. So that's the last sort of reference in these
Nothing
minutes.
changed.
What year was that?
1983.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. That's what's in the minutes and in the letters referring to
That's
the
why
role
we
of women.
started Ruach Hadassah at night because.
Right, but that was much later.
Yeah, that was in the 90s.
It was 1999.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little jaunt through history of women, which we did over a long time. There'll be other things coming next. I forget what it may. We may already be up to the complaint letters, which are super fun.
Johnny was.
So what are you doing to memorialize the decisions that are made during your
You know, that's a great question. I should probably write like a history, and I'm embarrassed to say. I mean, I will take some blame because I didn't monitor it. I just assumed it was being monitored. A lot of minutes are gone. Like we have books of minutes, but a lot of them are gone. It started before I got here because I wanted to look up the minutes about the votes about me when I was the candidate for rabbi, and they're gone. But
I can share with you what I remember.
yeah, I do know some from that, but I want to see what was recorded. Yeah. But yeah, that'll be fun. So I will write some sort of history based on my time here.
Yeah,
You
because
should
now we do so
maybe
much
print your
email,
emails,
so
too.
CC
Exactly.
goes into the files.
And we have some emails that are around forever, but some we don't. And anyway, we'll do what we can. But a great point. Yeah, we gotta take care of this a little bit better for the future. But the interesting moments, little like when was the new prayer book introduced, or what about the Richard, Cantor Kaplan, how long was he here for? The various kinds of services that we started, things like that need to be documented as well. All right, please rise for the Kiddush, page 55. And we're Chol HaMoed, which is sort of a holiday, but sort of not. So you don't do anything with this Kiddush. On Sukkot you do, but you don't during Passover.
There's no mourner's Kaddish?
Oh, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So the synagogue Kiddush in a Friday night service actually formally comes in the middle, not near the end. We got Elenu, we got what I promise we're doing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah b'anu, v'shabbat kodosho v'gava ratzah v'imkilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh b'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikrayei kodesh. Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu b'charta ve'otanu ki dasha, mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodesh v'yavalu ratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh ha'shabbat. If you are standing next to someone you feel comfortable blessing, at least one person has a kid here. Yisimcha Elohim k'Ephraim v'chi Menashe, Yisimech Elohim k'Sar Rivka Rachel Leah, Yirecha Adonai Yirecha, Yironai B'nai B'lecha V'yinecha, Yisa Adonai B'nai B'lecha V'yasem Lecha Shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant you peace.
Amen.
And we married standing for the Aleinu 57. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, v'atei kedula l'yotzei l'reishit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'ratzon, v'lo samanu k'mitzvot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol ha'bona, v'yachnu horim, U'mishakalim u'modim, u'lifnei melech, malchei mamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, she'unotei shamayim v'yosei haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shchinatu zo, be'gamei meronim, U'Eloheinu, Zulato, Kakatu, Vetorato, Vedata Hayom, Vehashivota, Eleva Becha, Ki Adonai, Ua Elohim, Vashamayim Imahal, V'ya'aretz, V'ya'aretz, Nitah. V'torah Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'ye'emar Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz. Bayom ahu yeh Adonai echad. U'shemo as we lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends whose yortzeits we observe during the coming week. Thinking especially today of Rose Applebaum, Leon Benjamin, Bertha Berkovich, who was actually the founder of the synagogue, Sidney Bernstein, Albert Louis Bloch, Pavel Blumenkrantz, Raymond Bolton, Claire Minces-Broff, Mildred Bernstein, Renee Davis, Ezekiel DeKoven, Jerome Desser, Shlomo Fixler, Charles Friedman, Lily Fedora Gelfand, Saul Gillick, Seth Gordon, Abraham Grossman, Samuel Jaime, Abraham Hoffman, Joseph Jacobs, Sidney Shepsel-Kahane, David Klein, Bernard Kramer, Gussie Leeson, Albert Levine, Shelley Jane Raskin-Lipton, Howard Maccabee, Aaron Nudler, Nancy Quitman, Eve Reingold, Sophelina Reingold, Marilyn Reinman, Rosalie Rogers, Lynn Sandberg, Connie Schwartz, Annie Silver, Lily Pearl Silver, Mary Simon, Bertie Weisbrod, Nathan Weissman, Augusta Wolf, Wolfs, and we are in the Shloshim for Kikumi Satomi and Robert Harris. In memories of all of them with us, we ask all those who are in mourning or observing our site to rise for the Kaddish on 61.
Gadol v'yikadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. V'amar yivrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'gemechon v'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agalah v'zman kariv v'imru.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Ve'lam Me'el Maya. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'ipar v'romam v'itnaseh. V'tadar v'itale v'talal Shemei Dekudashah Barichu. La'elam in kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. D'amiram v'yoma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya.
V'chayim aleinu
Ve'al Yisrael v'imru.
Amen. Oseh shalom b'mara. V'yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael
v'imru.
Amen.
Remember the people who come to say Kaddish will be a blessing to you always. Say
Amen.
All right. A few announcements. Tomorrow's services are at 9:30. We have Song of Songs, or a portion of it will also be read tomorrow. We have on Monday, Minyan. It's at 8, but it's the whole Passover second day service, so it won't end at 9.
Not second day.
On the 7th day, rather. And then 8th day with Yizkor is at 9:30 next Tuesday, April 30th. And that's in the chapel. We also have WTVA Girls Night Out Bunko this Thursday, 7 p.m. in the Baum Center. Next weekend, Jacqueline Paulch will be leading Friday night services. Susan Simon and the Kita Vav class will be leading Saturday morning services for Vav Shabbat. I will be in Orlando, Florida at my brother's 60th birthday bash.
Wow, that'll be fun.
It will be a lot of fun. All right. Couple closing songs. And so the first one, well, I'm going to start with the Hebrew one. And we're going to pass these out. I've done this before, but I want to keep doing it. You saw the words in your Haggadah on your Passover Seders. And the words are V'hisha Amda. But we're doing the version by Yaakov Shweki and Yonatan Rezel, which became a very popular song in Israel. And if you ever go to like an anti-Semitism rally, vigil, etc., you're going to hear this. And so we need to teach it to everybody that we can. Or you'll be like, how come the rabbi never does this one? It's out now. Now you know, but it's a very powerful and important song because it's, a version of Am Yisrael Chai. We're still here. And you can see although I'm missing one word from the translation, and it is this, meaning the Torah that has stood by our ancestors and for us, for not only one has arisen against us and tried to destroy us, but the Holy Blessed One always saves us from their hands. So Karen knows this, but she won't be the only one. But I did do it one other time here, and I will probably continue to do it. And then there's another song too.
Did I learn this at Camp Ramah though?
Yeah, maybe, or from the Ramah kids, from our kids.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
V'hishe amda lavoteinu, V'hishe amda lavoteinu v'lanu, shelo echad milvad amar aleinu lechalotenu, amar aleinu lechalotenu. That only repeats. V'hishe amda lavoteinu, V'hishe amda lavoteinu v'lanu, shelo echad milvad amar aleinu lechalotenu, amar aleinu lechalotenu. Ve'akadosh Baruch Hu Matzilenu mi'adam. Ve'akadosh Baruch Hu לעמותינו ולנו. שלום אחד בלבד, אמן עלינו לכלותנו, אמן עלינו לכלותנו. Right to the chorus. קדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מאדם, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מאדם. So an important one to learn. But it's also important not to dwell, of course, on all the sadness and pain that the Jewish people are going through right now. And this was a very, very bad week. What's going on in the campuses is just devastating. And what's considered acceptable to say about Jews is really just, even not imagined by me. But it's Shabbat, and we want to try to have a little semblance of Shabbat, even if your Shabbat's on Tuesday afternoon. Okay, so Mike Pinder from the Moody Blues died this week, and so that's who we're honoring. He's the keyboardist, but I already did Nights in White Satin and the whole Gathering Gloom thing.
I'm glad you did that already.
That's a gloomy one. This one is about enjoying, nature and enjoying what's out right in front of you. That's what we're gonna do. Tuesday afternoon.
Okay.
A few of you know this song, probably. Tuesday afternoon, I'm just beginning to see. Now I'm on my way. Doesn't matter to me, chasing the clouds away. Something calls to me. The trees are drawing me near. I've got to find out why. Those gentle voices I hear explain it all in a song. I'm looking at my self-reflections on my mind. It's just the kind of day to leave ourselves behind. So gently swaying through the fairyland of love. If you'll just come with me and see the beauty of Tuesday afternoon. Tuesday afternoon. Just beginning to see, now I'm on my way. Doesn't matter to me, chasing the clouds away. Something calls to me. The trees are drawing me near. Got to find out why. Those gentle voices I hear explain it all with a sigh. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Have a Shabbat afternoon tomorrow, like Mike Pinder had a Tuesday afternoon.
Hey, well.